I'm going to start out with an illustration, and I just want you to get an image in your head, and then towards the end of the speech, I'll go over it and explain its relevance to my topic. I want you to think about a little kid watching TV, and he's so focused on what he's watching that his mom walks by, and he doesn't even notice. He's just so focused on that. And then we'll go back and talk about it at the end and why that's important. The topic that I'm going to speak on is one of God's values, and I picked love. I work at Elite Athletics, which is a gym for gymnastics. I'm a gymnastics coach, and I work with kids ages 6 to 12. And so the three things that I really try and do at work that shows love to them is through patience, kindness, and instilling good qualities in them. For patience, the way I do that is I have kids coming to me all the time that ask me that they don't remember what we did or what they're supposed to be doing, or if they have fears, which all of them do. They all have different ones. They'll come to me and they'll either be crying or they're really upset about it, and I'll have to have patience with them and explain whatever they're scared of from the beginning, the whole thing over again, and just take it step by step in order for them to relearn that skill. Also, a lot of times we do a lot of strength conditioning, and sometimes the younger ones, like the 6 and 7 year olds, they get frustrated because they don't understand why we're doing so much conditioning. So I just have to have patience and explain to them, over and over that the reason we're doing this is because you have to have this type of muscle for this skill, and just reassuring them that why we're doing what we're doing. A verse that I picked to go with patience is Luke 8:15. It says, "As for that in the good soil, they are those who are hearing the word, hold it fast in an honest and good heart, and bear fruit with patience." And I picked this verse because it talks about if you have patience, you bear fruit. And that made me think about, obviously, if you're bearing fruit, then the tree is growing. And that made me think about the kids that we work with and the people we work with. We want them to also bear fruit through patience as well. And I definitely think that patience shows love, rather than if one of my kids were to come up to me and say, "I forgot what we do here again." It would be easier for me to just say, "Why didn't you listen the first time?" But it definitely takes patience to explain it again and give them some leeway on that. Another way that I can show love to the kids that I work with is through kindness, just simple kind acts. I try and make a point to talk to all my kids when they come in each time for class and just say, "How was your day today?" or "What happened at school?" To make sure that they know that I care more about them as a person than I do about what happens in the gym, although that is important. I make sure to, if they're upset in the gym or if they're crying about something, to go up to them and ask them, what's wrong or what can I do to make it better, so that they know that I really care about their relationship with them, and not just correcting them on their skills and things like that. Leo TC said, "Kindness in words creates confidence, kindness in thinking creates profundity, and kindness in giving creates love." And I really liked this quote because it's talking about kindness creates love, and I really agree with that. I think that going the extra mile and showing the kids that you care enough to do those little kind things or asking them about their day really shows that you love them. And I think through kind acts, kids will pick up on the fact that maybe there's a deeper love there, and they'll wonder where that comes from, and that'll give you another opportunity. The third way that I try and show love to my kids is instilling good qualities in them. So just making sure they know that I care what type of person they turn out to be, whether they turn out to be someone who respects someone else, or just having good behavior and things like that. So we really try to work on discipline with them. The way I do that the most, I would say, is we try and encourage helping hands in the gym. So we use a lot of equipment in class, mats and things like that for the skills that they're learning. And after we're done with class every day, I have them clean up their mats and put them away so that the next class doesn't have to come in and clear the floor, because then it takes their time. And that shows my kids that we respect the other class and their class time. We don't just think about ourselves. Also, for good behavior, we really try and focus on having them respect other people and respecting me as a coach, and respecting, when I give them corrections, they'll listen to them and they'll take them in because they understand that. So I have a little behavior chart, and when they have good behavior and they listen listen really well that day and they respect everyone, like don't get in fights or anything like that, then they get a sticker for their chart. And when their whole chart is about that big, when their whole chart is filled up with stickers, then they get to go get ice cream with me. So that way they're getting rewarded for good behavior, because the things that they learn when they're young will carry with them as they grow older. So we want to make sure that the things they're picking up on are good qualities. And then for the kids who don't listen that well, they're not really getting punished, they're just not getting a reward. So that way you won't have kids running home and complaining that they aren't getting things that other kids are getting, because it's just a reward for the ones who are learning to respect others and help others and things like that. Okay, and then I wanted to mention the verse John 3:16, because I think that's so powerful. That's the biggest act of love our world has ever seen, and if the biggest act ever came from love, then I think that that we should be pursuing ways to show love every day, because obviously it was so important to God, and it's so important to us in our everyday life. So that's just a challenge, as I would really try and think about the ways that you, in your workplace, even though you don't work with kids, whoever you work with, just make sure you realize that they are watching you and you want them to pick up on positive things, not negative things. Okay, back to the illustration earlier, we were talking about the little boy who was watching TV. My challenge to you guys is to not be that little boy who's so focused on, to not be that person who's so focused on their work and themselves that they don't see that person who's walking in front of them, the person at work who walks in front of you. Just make sure you make a point to have a relationship with them, because we're put in certain places for a reason. And I know it could be by chance, but I really believe that every person is put with the people they work with for a reason. So make sure that you're having a positive influence with those you work with.